Carver High School graduate James Hood became one of the first blacks to enroll at the University of Alabama on June the 11th, 1963. He talked recently about his memories of that time.
I had teachers that told me that the world was out there for me to discover, so I went out and discovered it. I guess that's all I did get. It was like I didn't have any other choice because the people around me insisted that education was the answer, and I bought into it. I wanted to go to college because nobody had been from my family, so I went. And I got a scholarship to go to Clark College in Atlanta. It was an article in the Atlanta Constitution by Ralph McGill, and it was quoting a survey in Alabama that said we were 300 years behind whites in our brain development, and I said that's wrong. It's just absolute wrong. And the study was done on me and a lot of blacks in my class, and they said that they looked at our brains and it was 300 years it was too small. It said we couldn't understand anything. So I got mad and I said I was going to do something about it. And I talked to Reverend Dr. King, and he told me to why not apply to the university, and I did. He said one way to prove it is go show him. I had his sister was my English teacher in college, and she introduced me to Dr. King before I went there to see him. And when I saw him, he was a nice guy, and he was really down to earth. Wallace decided he wasn't going to move, but he said he was going to. He was just stubborn about it. They had agreed that he could make his stand and get out of the way, and then we'd go in. But he decided to prolong it a little bit to the afternoon. U.S. Army general was there, and he confronted Wallace and said he had been given order by the president to tell him that he had to go. And he said, okay, the bitter pill swallowed, but he did. And then we went in and everybody started clapping because we found the maid, they'd been sitting there all day and it was kind of hot. About 80 to 90 degrees that day. And when we got to the registration desk, the student said to me, I've been waiting all day. I'm glad you're here. I said, okay. And he registered me, and that was it. I had the key already to the dorm. We got that already from the federal court, gave it to us. The university gave it to the court, and the court gave it to us. I had the whole top floor. Down the hall with the marshal, and the U.S. Marshal Service had the floor. The president's commitment to integration was awesome for me. I couldn't believe that any person could stand up to the mantle of segregation like he did. And the night I went to the university, he made a speech, the first one in history, that segregation was wrong, morally wrong. And he called me early that day and told me, read part of the speech to me, and said he was going to make it to the nation, and he did. And I was so glad. I didn't realize then how important it was talking to him. I just thought it was natural. That he called and I answered, and that was it. But it was a strange thing to talking to him, because he's just like anybody else. I asked him, why, as president, couldn't he sign an order that made everybody get along? And he said, it ain't that simple, son. November 22nd, when President Kennedy was killed, the same year, I said, if they could kill him, then I would sit and target. They sent me a black cat in the parcel post, a dead black cat, and the marshals opened and saw what it was, and they tried to find out where it came from, but they couldn't. I didn't realize the meaning of it until about 6 or 7 months later. It was a sign that of the Klan activity, and it was a demonstration of what they would do to me and anybody that stood in their way. Almost ready during the presidential campaign, the first presidential campaign. I was in St. Louis when he gave a speech in the same auditorium that I went to a basketball game, and they told me he was there, so I avoided getting caught with the press so they could photograph me with him. I said, no, I don't want to do that, because I felt it would not help me at all, so I avoided it. And when I met with him in the 1996, I said, he said he was sorry, and I said, I had already forgiven a long time ago. He was just doing what he had to do, and I understood that. I didn't think it was against me, it was just against my way of life. The worst thing in the world is to hate, and that hate can destroy you, and I didn't want that to happen, so I didn't have anybody. I asked to meet with him, and he said okay, so I went down to see him just before graduation. As a matter of fact, I was going to his house, and he decided to go to his office. Then we gonna meet in the office. And when I got there, all these reporters were there. I said, oh, I didn't plan it that way, but he did, so he was ready to see anyway. It made me realize that I was right all the time. Time for having was given before that. Always wanted to come back home. I didn't want to stay gone. So I had a chance and I came back. The place has changed a lot, but it's still Gaston, Alabama. You got black council members now, and you didn't have that then. And you look around and see people in all walks of life in politics, and that wasn't true back then. And now you see that people are making a difference, one person at a time. Now you can go over to any place and get education, but then it was hard. Study the best you can, get as much out of education as you can, because you never know what that leads to. To be prepared. Prepare yourself and don't let anybody take that away from you. You got education, you can't take it away from you. I tell them I'm just an ordinary person that did something extraordinary, I guess. I hope I will remember as one who stepped through the world trying to make it better, that's all. And be remembered that way, I'm happy about that.